pod bay doors, please, pal.
All right.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Look at the coast. We get together, have a few laughs.
A Movie Odyssey with Brad Patel and Gus Trout.
That Coors Banquet went down real quick. I should have brought 3 up. I only brought 2 up. What the fuck was I thinking?
Gotta get a shitty beer.
Yeah, I always have dad beers laying around. You gotta.
I feel like I gotta buy like something good, like IPAs or something, but there's always something to be said for just like a cheap. Welcome for shit.
That's staying in there.
Welcome to Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah, but no one in Pennsylvania calls it Pennsylvania. We call it PA.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, right? I mean, isn't that funny though? Like people in Ohio call it, oh yeah, I live in Ohio. They don't go, oh, I'm from OH. I'm from O. Is it OH?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pennsylvania is a lot of syllables, so.
Yeah, I probably can't even spell it.
So
God, this is the best podcast.
Yeah, I'm having fun.
Yeah.
I always look forward to it.
Yeah, I'm having a fucking blast.
Yeah. So people are listening to it now.
Right.
Right. This is we're recording this on the Tuesday after I just put out the first 6 episodes, and I don't know, I guess people seem to like it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I got,
or they just like us and they know us, and then like anybody who doesn't know us or like us, just is
probably
disgusting.
what it is.
Yeah.
I've not had anyone email or text me saying they hate it, so
Yeah.
that's good.
That would be awesome. Gens just sends you an email saying he fucking hates it.
We got to get Gens on the podcast.
Oh shit, we should have had him for this one.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Well, I guess you should introduce the movie.
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Brad Patello. I'm here with my good friend Gus Strauff. This week's movie is Masters of the Universe from 1987, based on the toy line, kind of, sort of, and or the cartoon, but not really. Toy line came out in 82. Cartoon came out in 83. There was a little bit of back and forth. The original toy line came with like little comics, like little tiny ones, and the story was kind of stark, and it was more like the movie. I guess the movie was more based on these little comics than the TV show, because obviously they dropped the Prince Adam character, the alter ego thing, which was
yeah they do
introduced in the show, and then they made a toy out of it. So there was some back and forth between
I didn't even think about that.
The toy makers and the people who are making the cartoon Filmation.
Where the fuck's Battle Cat? God damn it!
He was too expensive. Yes. And
that would have been impossible.
Everything I watched about, like, why isn't Orko in this? Why isn't Cringer in this?
Yeah, what are you, a fucking idiot?
Everything was like, oh,
I don't want to ever have a discussion about this movie with those people.
With people who are butthurt that Orko's not in it.
Yeah, I mean, like, God damn it.
Well, this is the people who are like, oh man, they redesigned Thundercats to look like Steven Universe. I'm pissed. Like those people.
Those are the worst people.
Yeah.
They already made a remake of Thundercats that was like all even like more anime-ified.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
They did that with He-Man too, actually. Maybe this is like
there's been a few He-Man remakes. There's one in the 90s that I loved. I actually still have the VHSs.
That was the animated one, right? Like the one that was kind of, the designs are kind of angular.
Yeah, angular, a little bit heading more towards anime-esque. Like the intro is awesome. Like really cool animation, very like Thundercats-esque.
I remember that being
intro.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I love it.
Seems to be the logical progression of some of these properties, where like it's a cartoon that's around in the 80s that people like. In the 2010s or so, or the 2000s or 2010s, it gets a reboot where it's kind of edgy and anime. And then in 2020, it gets remade into basically cutesy Steven Universe characters.
Which is a fun, like, because I don't understand the seriousness behind, like, I loved Thundercats, I loved Silverhawks, I loved He-Man, I loved all of this stuff, Transformers, like.
But why would you get pissed if somebody like
I don't know,
redesigns it or reboots it? It's like, what do you care? You always got the old show to go back to.
It's not like the old show was like incredible. It's like,
I know,
cool because
it's a cartoon about alien cats,
and they're trying to sell fucking toys.
It's not like Shakespeare or the Bible. It's a crass 80s toy commercial.
So I have this little He-Man story. Well, I have a bunch of stories for this episode, but in our basement, next to our dryer, there was a box of old toys, and my brother's 6 years older than me, and he had all these He-Man toys, right, that were handed down to me. Then I just held on to He-Man for the next 20 years of my life.
You just randomly,
and he's right here. Gus, for the podcast listeners, Gus holds up. No, I didn't hold up anything. Gus
mimed holding something up so to take advantage of the fact that we're a podcast and you can't see it. Actually, I have no pants on right now. So what the hell? It's a podcast, you know. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I've got a bunch of those old toys too.
Yeah, when I helped you move, I think we were talking about this at the end of last podcast. Yeah.
Well, we had kind of talked about having this be almost like a companion episode to the Transformers, because the properties do have similar origins to where they're, based on toys. They're big in the 80s.
Yeah.
Have the same kind of lineage where the properties have been kind of lionized, I guess, to where they have conventions every year. And
oh yeah, they're never going away.
But unlike Transformers, this movie went off in a completely different direction from any other pre-existing storylines or timelines, which is, I guess, fine.
I think it works. I mean, again, it's that complaint, like when you're translating something from a toy line / animation to live action, the fact that this movie is even watchable, and let alone honestly enjoyable for many reasons.
Is it watchable?
Yes. I mean,
you kept calling this like the best movie ever, and I'm a little worried that you're kind of serious.
I think I was trying to watch, this as like with a critical eye this time around.
Yeah.
I am serious when, like, in the 80s, there was just so many of these sci-fi fantasy movies.
Well, yeah, it's a barbarian kind of science fiction barbarian, basically.
Yeah.
There's a couple of those.
You got the swords and the gun mix kind of thing.
Yeah.
And just the fact that they even pulled it off, and that there's like good performances. I mean, there's the special effects guy, I forget his name. He did like Raiders of the Lost Ark and Star Wars. You have Frank Angela, who's killing it as Skeletor. Billy Bartley is like, every scene with him is the best. And Mobius did the fucking designs for all the characters.
Yeah, Mobius and Ralph McQuarrie did some early conceptual work too.
There's so much talent behind this movie. The thing about this movie is the fact that it was even made is insane. It was a train wreck from the beginning.
Yeah. There's so basically a lot of push and pull from the toy company to the production company.
Well, yeah.
The toy company had veto power over everything, basically.
Right.
And they made all these script changes
But once they realized that the like the toys and the show were like going downhill, and they were like, just do whatever you can, like we don't care, like do whatever you can to make this work. And with everything against this movie, I think it's honestly pretty good. There are way worse sci-fi like
Oh, no.
when you're putting it up against what you should put it up against, it's like one of the best.
What are we
This isn't
what are we putting it up against? Where it's the best?
fucking Beastmaster and shit. Like,
Oh well, yeah,
if we
Krull and
watch
yeah.
yes, if we watch that shit, this is like fucking Orson Welles shit.
Okay, so it's better than Beastmaster. All right, so my question.
I'm standing my ground, god damn it.
All right, so
awesome.
my question, first of all, not so much why is Courtney Cox in the movie? Why is Courtney Cox the main character of the movie?
Because
why is she the one we're following through this whole thing?
Because Dolph can hardly speak a word of English.
Oh well, yeah.
And they were like, holy shit, like
we need somebody who can act. Quick, get
even
another shot of Billy Barty. So they had Billy Barty, Dolph Lundgren, and Meg Foster, who are three, Billy Barty's the best among the people who are in the good guys. So you got the four.
Oh, he's the best good guy.
Well, yeah, and then you got those four that come, and then you got Courtney Cox and Tom Paris. I'm just going to be calling him Tom Paris, by the way.
Courtney does a fine job.
But among those six, Billy Barty's the best actor. So you get like a lot of shots of him doing the best he can through all the latex they put on him. I wrote down, can Billy Barty even move his lips? They had so much crap on his face that he when he spoke, it was like he couldn't even, like his mouth didn't close all the way because they had too much rubber on it.
I'll take that over any CG character.
Yeah, it's Billy Barty and he's acting and he's doing a decent job for like looking like they shot him with a shotgun full of plastic.
I mean, Courtney Cox just came off of the Bruce Springsteen "Dancing in the Dark" music video.
Yeah,
she won the hearts of America.
She was America's sweetheart.
Yeah,
she hadn't been on Family Ties yet. I think
this is like literally her second thing.
Yeah, it was the Bruce Springsteen video, and then this, basically.
Yeah, if she can dance with Bruce, she can dance with He-Man.
But it's why is half the movie her and her boyfriend?
Yeah, Kevin. I one of the first notes I wrote down was "fuck Kevin."
I actually wrote down Robert Duncan McNeil is really trying. Like he
still sucks. I mean, his character
giving it his all. He's putting there's a couple of scenes where I'm just like, "Aw, he's acting." Like he's almost in tears in that one, like at the end of Act 2 and He-Man gets kidnapped and they're like, "Are we just going to give up?" He's like almost crying there. And I'm like, "Oh, Tom Paris."
I fucking hate Kevin. It's like, yeah, hey, Courtney, like super gorgeous girl, come hang out with me, do a sound check with my shitty music. Whenever he plays a little bit of music for it, he's like, hey, what do you think about that? It's just like, sounds like shit, Kevin. Fuck you. I got a flight out of here, baby.
They win because he remembers the score. He can hum the score, so therefore they can activate the key. I
honestly think that you're being too harsh on this movie.
I swear to God, I'm not pissed they didn't put Orko in. I don't.
I think that they're for what they were up against, the director and everybody, it turned out like the best it possibly could.
So you got obviously you got
It
Frank
was a smart
Langella.
idea to bring it out of the. They didn't have the budget to keep it in Eternia.
Well, that
They
was
had to.
it,
They had to bring it to the U.S. of A.
well, yeah, and it showed like yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
their
like
eyes were bigger than their budget. They were like, oh, we spent all our money on these 12 costumes and this one set and this
there
matte
is
painting.
like one shot they use like 5 times. It's like the Eternia after the siege of Skeletor and everything's on fire and there's all these troops kind of.
Oh, where they're like in is this
Desert.
inside or outside?
Outside.
Yeah, where they're like filming in like I think they filmed that in like Utah or something.
But like the score is awesome. It has a decent pace. There's a lot of talent behind the whole thing. Like the acting isn't award winning, but like they're going for it. Especially the bad, like Evil Lyn and Skeletor are killing it. There's this weird sexual tension between them. There's Skeletor has he has a lot of layers to him.
So all right, you got 2 really good actors. You got Frank Langella as Skeletor, and you got Meg Foster as Evil Lyn, and they're kind of carrying the movie mostly. I mean, they specifically rewrote a lot of it to focus more on them so that they could.
Yeah, once they got Frank, they were like, we need to. Basically, the movie has to go through the eyes of him.
Yeah, because he's like respectable actor. Dolph Lundgren is just laughable though. He's just awful in it.
So my love for He-Man as a kid completely he's barely in this movie.
Well, yeah. He has like 12 lines, maybe.
So his introduction is after Skeletor's introduction. Skeletor's introduction is fucking legit. The music and how he's walking in, and they're doing the really great editing with the passing in front of the pillars, and we're cutting in closer and closer. And I mean, was that not cool to you? I mean, I think that's legitimately cool. That set's awesome.
I thought that set looked like shit.
I mean, like the throne looks like shit.
But they got like throne, every color. They got like the walls are green. They got red details. There's like blue sculptures. There's orange light coming up. Why are you gonna have a throne room with like 4 bottomless pits with no railings?
So you can fucking punch Skeletor off of it at some point?
I guess. No railings. They're just standing like Skeletor's
I did write
walking.
that down. Like that's like a sketchy fucking How many people just accidentally like tripped?
Yeah. What if the guys are like his guards are like standing right up to the edge while he's walking through.
Yeah.
Just waiting for Skeletor to just.
Well, see, that's being harsh. That is a stylistic choice that they went for. I think that there's a cool like Skeletor commands the presence of the camera.
Skeletor is good. Yeah, Frank Langella is good.
I think that besides the nostrils, like where today they would like CG in to give that depth behind.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Evil Dead 2. I like fresh eyeballs behind. Like.
Well, what else would you do?
The teeth works really well. I like that I think it honestly looks cool.
By the way, that mask. Let's shoehorn in a couple Star Trek references here.
Oh boy,
Tom Paris. Obviously.
Here we go.
Robert Duncan McNeil, who's like the Kevin character, was a series regular in Star Trek Voyager, of course.
I did when I was looking through the cast. I did see the Star Trek stuff, and I was like,
"Here's another one, though. Here's a deeper cut, though. The Skeletor mask got reused in several episodes of The Next Generation.
No shit.
As they repainted it, but I read that and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that as like a generic alien monster. Like whenever Worf is fighting a monster on the holodeck, it's always like the Skeletor mask.
Yeah.
Because I guess one of the visual effects guys went on to work on The Next Generation. So he just, I got this mask. I'll just.
I stole the Skeletor mask.
It was made for Frank Langella, but I guess it'll fit your face just fine.
intro to He-Man I wrote down, is laughable. He's just like standing there and then turns around
I know.
and then like jumps and it starts attacking the trooper dudes.
Everything with him in it is. So this is Dolph Lundgren's second movie after the Rocky one.
Rocky 4, yeah.
Yeah, and now he's got to talk in it. And they wanted to redub his lines, but like something about his contract, they ran out of money.
Yeah, his contract had something about how he had like a say over that.
Yeah.
Now, I was watching a behind the scenes thing, and it seemed like the interview with Dolph was like, it must have been around that time, like after the movie. He spoke fantastic English. And it didn't make any sense because.
Well, I think he got better, you know.
He must have got better real quick.
I don't know. I don't know. What was his next movie after this? Like the one with Jean-Claude, that Universal Soldier. When was that?
Well, that's 92.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, but yeah, he had a thick accent and
Well, I can tell you, I was a Dolph fan the second I saw this movie.
I don't know if it was the toy company or the production company. Somebody basically nixed the idea of redubbing his lines.
Yeah.
Because they ran out of money. Apparently the studio, which is something I never heard of, the company that made it was going out of business. So they made a deal. Canon, that's what it was. They made a deal with Mattel. They were each going to put up half the money, but then, you know, Mattel put up their half, and then they went through that, and then Mattel said, "No, all right, now where's your half?" And they're like, "We don't have it."
Yeah.
So Mattel had to put the other, and they eventually did pull the plug. You saw where, like, at the end fight scene, how it all gets dark. That's because they ran out of money.
They're like, yeah, well, we have the actors, like, we're going to shoot this. Like, they had permission, like most of the, that's what I'm saying. Like,
they tried. For effort.
Like, I think that where this movie is, where it really does not work, are the action scenes.
Oh, yeah.
They're all like Star Warsy, like we'll just figure out on the day. And they didn't really have, like, they didn't have time.
Yeah, they weren't
pressure
choreographed
of like
well.
They were not choreographed. It's just like, I still think though, like, I think that it looked. Don't you think it? Okay, there are some for the time 87 for what they were trying to go for. That a lot of this movie looks good. How it is shot, how it is lit. Some of the characters, like the designs.
Yeah, the characters are designed by Mobius. The costumes were designed by Mobius.
The Predator dude has that like frog throat.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. There's some cool makeup.
On
I think the Skeletor makeup is cool. I think the Gwildor makeup is awful.
I think the Gwildor is rough because his face just doesn't move.
Well, that one guy too, the Karg or whatever, the little guy,
he scared the shit out of me when I was younger. Yeah.
But he same thing. His mouth couldn't articulate all the way because of all the latex they had on him.
Oh, it's 87. The fact that it even looks as good as it does is blowing my mind.
It is 87. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we go through the plot? I guess there is a really cool. I want to say though, there is a really cool matte painting. The one matte painting you see of Castle Grayskull. You see it kind of close up in the beginning, and then it's in a couple of the shots where it's like far away.
The sorceress is standing there in the eye. Is that her name?
So we start off with Skeletor.
Well, no. We start off with the theme song.
Oh yeah, which sounds exactly like the Superman theme song.
But listen, people rip off shit all the time. These guys were like, "Fuck it, we're stealing Superman," and it sounds great. The music
And
for this movie is good. The score is good.
Okay, so the opening credits, you see like this rainbow sparkle thing come out from the middle, and then the names zoom up.
Yeah.
And then zoom away, just like
Yeah,
in Superman. And the music
it's fucking
sounds
awesome.
almost exactly like the Superman music.
When I was younger and I saw this movie first, and then I saw Superman, I was like, "What the fuck, Superman? You're stealing Master's
Superman,
universe."
you stole that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we have an opening title sequence.
He-Man would fuck up Superman.
You think?
No.
So yeah, Skeletor takes over Castle Grayskull because
He wants to
he's
be the
got a
master of the
key.
universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got in with the key, which Gwildor invents a key that opens a portal to anywhere.
Yeah, he's an inventor and a keymaster.
And he had
Evil Lynn fucking dupes him by like
yeah, but he had two of them.
he's a shapeshifter.
Yeah, Evil Lynn is a shapeshifter. We see that. So, but he had two of them, right? Because Skeletor has one that he
to back up.
gets into the Gray Skull with, and then I guess the second one was like the prototype or something. All right, so Skeletor's in Gray Skull. He's kind of taken over.
They exit Gwildor's cave house. The little detail they have is he has like a little like rock garden with like weird alien mushrooms and shit.
Oh, I didn't see.
And those like stormtrooper dudes come and just stomp all over his fucking
Oh yeah, I did see that
desert. Yeah, but they exit out the back door, the secret door, and I think they just like they know how to get into Gray Skull like the secret way.
Okay, so they make their way to Gray Skull,
but it's a trap.
Yeah, so they use the key in a pretty bad action scene that involves lots of gunfire and almost zero sword play.
He deflects some shit though.
Yeah, he does. He's got like his sword in one hand that he's kind of posing with.
Yeah.
And he's got the blaster in the other hand. He's like shooting people down with it.
Dolph is, I hate to say this, but he is just the worst part of this movie.
Oh yeah. Easily.
The director in one of the documentary things I was watching, he says like he doesn't name the person, but he's like, I had a guy, I should have pulled the trigger and I didn't. And like I should have just gotten rid of Dolph and gotten this other guy. And he regrets it to this day.
Yeah. Yeah, he really brings it down. So they escape using the key.
The key, the cosmic key. Yeah. When they're typing on it and shit and making the noises, it makes me think of the Sax Man, where it's just like beep boop. It's like,
well, you see shots of Gwildor using it, and he's clearly just pawing his hand on it, like because his hand's got all these prosthetics on it too. Like it looks like he's pushing buttons, but he's clearly just like mashing it.
Yeah.
Gwildor knows how to operate the key. The key takes you to anywhere. They open a portal and it's to Earth. And they escape to Earth. We could be anywhere. They don't know where they land, but they landed on Earth.
How are we supposed to fucking have any connection if it's not Earth?
I don't know.
The
Lots
obvious
of stories
answer,
don't
Brad.
Take place on Earth. That doesn't. The clear answer is they ran out of money, so they had to shoot it in just some hodunk town.
Ran out of money? They didn't have money from the get-go.
That's true. So they.
It was actually a kind of a bigger budget, I think.
Well, so they meet. Then they meet. All right, so they lose the key, and Courtney Cox and her boyfriend Tom Paris find it.
Yeah.
Tom Paris is a aspiring musician. And
his name's Kevin, and he's a bitch.
He's really trying. He's really going for it, though. Courtney Cox.
Do you want? I want to go to Robbie's Ribs and Chicken.
Oh,
I could go a bucket of ribs, half rib, half chicken.
How about the vegan propaganda there?
Propaganda. Come on, that's a fun little.
It's like, why did they put food on these white sticks? Oh, those are bones.
You're serving me up some harsh browns on this, goddamn.
I'm harsh and you're mellow. I also like the Gwildor has a grappling hook that apparently he can grab anything with, because like they jump through the
that's
portal.
a fun. Yeah, that's a fun twist on the,
They
on the portal part.
you see the claw come through the portal by itself, grabs the key and pulls it back, and then he does it again later with a bucket of chicken.
Yeah,
And there's
awesome.
like a couple making out in the front seat of a convertible, and he throws the grappling hook over them, grabs their chicken from the back seat and pulls it back so they can eat it.
Don't you like the tech in this movie?
I do like how
movies steal the tech. Movies steal this fucking tech all the time. Example, they're the first wave of assassins who are like incapable of even capturing Courtney Cox, for God's sakes. When they go back, Evil Lynn asks for the scanner.
Oh yeah, and he
that
sees.
It's like shows the past. And like how they realize that, it's fucking cool. And in Guardians of the Galaxy, at the beginning of the first one, Star-Lord pulls out that same kind of tech.
Oh, okay. I didn't notice that. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
The truth collar and how they handle the truth collar or whatever it's called, like the collar of Dungaree. I don't know what the fuck. It has some crazy name. There's a lot of like futuristic sci-fi jargon in this movie that I don't think I ever truly picked up until this watch.
I like how Tom Paris just assumes that the thing is Japanese, like the key. Oh, it's a piece of technology I don't understand. It must be Japanese.
But he also had he's like, it made this big dip, like it made like a giant divot in the ground, like it must have fallen.
Yeah,
like he runs through that logic, and then he just jumps to the fact that it's some.
I know.
I do like the design of that key. I think that key's cool too. Again, the tech is cool in this game, or in this movie.
Apparently, the prop fell apart a lot during shoot.
Understandable. It's like a bunch of moving parts.
Yeah. Well, he just gets the key, so he finds it in the middle of a giant crater. He goes, "Oh, it's a Japanese keyboard," and he just takes it. He puts a thing on it so he can sling it over his arm, and he carries it around with him for the rest of the movie. Or for all of Act 2, basically.
Wouldn't you?
I guess. I don't know. I probably wouldn't assume it was a Japanese keyboard, though. I would. I was like, what are they just assuming it's safe to touch this thing? It's
Courtney.
It could be a bomb.
Picks it up. It could be like, well, it was the 80s. It was innocent, man. You didn't know about that shit.
You didn't know.
Columbine didn't happen.
It's Japanese. That's what.
Yeah.
Let's write our way out of anything. Oh, it's Japanese.
I wrote down effects, DP as in the director of photography, acting, and when I'm talking about acting, I'm talking about Billy and Meg and Frank here.
The three good actors in this movie.
Yeah. Well, what's the guy from Back to the Future? The principal.
Oh, I hated that character so much. I wanted to talk about this guy.
He's the same person in Back to the Future.
Well, yeah, he's in every 80s movie, either as a principal or a sheriff or a detective or something.
Yeah, he's a sheriff in one of the I think it's Friday the 13th Part 6, maybe?
James Tolkien. Yeah. I just hated him in this, though. His character was like...
He's J.R.R. Tolkien's.
Not spelled the same.
I was making a joke.
First of all right, so yeah, this guy's in it as the cop who's like investigating. His job is to go around and like not believe anybody, and you're all under arrest. That's
what you're gonna believe that there's scantily clad muscle men running around.
Yeah, I wouldn't believe that either. Do they not arouse suspicion by walking around Earth in those costumes?
That is one critique I will put on this movie is there is nobody on the roads. There is nobody in the neighborhoods. There are these giant marching armies.
Yeah.
And like the whole time that cop guys like he's telling all his other cop buddies like I'm telling you, man, you got to come with me. It was worse than Vietnam or Korea or whatever war he was in. And no one's calling in to say that, hey, there's like a spaceship outside my window.
Yeah, when the
With like
Skeletor's
30
army comes through,
trooper. Yeah.
and like they're just coming down the road like it's a parade or something, and the road is there's nobody in sight. They do a reverse shot, and the road is completely empty. It's not a
Yeah.
light on it.
Anytime the shots of Gwildor in the his caddy that he like jacks up or whatever was that? Was that Coupe de Ville?
Oh yeah, he gets like a pink Cadillac and he like steals it, and they drive it around for the whole movie.
Yeah. And he like modifies it within like maybe a couple hours of separation.
Oh, I know.
Hell yeah. Gwildor fucking kills it.
Gwildor.
I don't have any tattoos, but thinking about it right now, I might get a giant back tattoo that's just Gwildor. Thoughts?
Oh my god. Well, I'm gonna get Orko just to
Our first
counteract
1,000
your...
listeners, Gus is gonna get a Gwildor tattoo.
Yeah, let's put that out there.
Yeah.
First time one of our episodes get 1,000 hits, Gus will get a Gwildor tattoo.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure it happens too. But yeah, that guy is insufferable in this. And we just jump to the end for a second. His resolution, do you remember that? Like do
I remember it? I fantasize about that. That's what I want to happen. I want to save the day and then stay in some cool universe.
So they get all of them get transported back to Eternia, including this cop guy. And he goes, "Oh, I'm going to stay here. I've got a woman."
Yeah.
There's like it cuts to him at the end of the movie. Skeletor's been defeated and he's wearing a toga and there's like a woman sitting on his lap. I could my jaw was like, what? Welcome to Eternia. Here's your woman. Here's your complimentary woman.
He finally found himself. He was just like an angry, tensed up ball of muscle, and he just finally found his place, man.
He's the 80s authority figure.
How about how they dress up Gwildor at the end? Just put a couple bows in his hair. Guys, you're jumping around everywhere. I feel like we could just have I would have a whole episode just on the like Robbie's
just
ribs and chicken, man.
Oh, the chickens.
I just love it so much. Gwildor is just downing a whole thing of barbecue sauce.
Well, what he acts surprised that it's meat. Like Man at Arms is like, "Oh, it's meat. This used to be and Tila goes, "This used to be an animal?" And Gwildor acts like he doesn't know either. Like and Man at Arms is just chomping it down, you know.
Well, that's sort of a running thing with him, that he's, always hungry.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, later when they're in the Charlie's music shop, they're about to have the stand up or like the horrible shoot off with the stormtrooper dudes. Oh yeah. And that's what I'm gonna keep calling them. But he says, He-Man asks him something like, "What are you thinking about?" He's like, "I don't know. I'm kind of hungry."
So he's willing to eat
setups and
the
payoffs, Brad. Was
it a payoff? I mean, it didn't factor into the plot, though, did it? It was just him saying something. So the action scenes.
I might have to be in charge of editing this episode. I actually don't want to do that.
The action, that at the end of Act 2, that action scene where they're like fighting on those flying space things, whatever.
It's so bad.
There's a couple shots where it's clearly just like a JPEG, like it's just a still of He-Man on the thing, and they just moved it.
It's so bad. There's like a kind of cool shot where it's like, they're filming him like he's up on like a rig, right? And they're moving him through like giving him some kind of relativity of like,
where it's like a crane. Or he's
like
on the thing, and
that looks cool.
Yeah, but that optical printer stuff, that's most of it is just
and they keep on doing the same thing. It's like the same kind of shot where it's from behind and they're going up over a building.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work ever. And it's the same. They keep on doing it.
Yeah. The physics of it are just like he
Yeah,
doesn't have to lean this way or.
It's very, I wonder, I mean, I don't think at this time you couldn't get away from Star Wars, as you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just in the zeitgeist by then.
Yeah.
And it's sort of the speeder. Because this movie, the director did say something along the lines of like, no, we didn't, like, we're not trying to copy Star Wars with the stormtrooper-esque soldiers.
Right.
The reason they did that is that they're robotic and that He-Man could kill robots. Because the whole thing at the beginning of when they started this movie is like, you can't do anything with He-Man. And then like he has to be like hugging and kissing everybody.
He-Man can't kill anybody.
Yeah. But then halfway through, whenever every like canon and the toy line were going down the fucking drain, they were like, put boobs in this movie, do anything you can.
But I think it was like too late at that point though, because they had already shot a lot of it.
Yeah.
And they were just, reshooting stuff would have been more expensive than. So their eyes were definitely bigger than their budget.
I still think they made some smart moves.
I feel like
I respect the work that went into this movie.
Tom Paris, sweet van. Let me just see what I wrote down here.
Sweet van. That's definitely not what fucking crossed my mind when I saw that van.
Well, he's like, they introduce him in his van there.
Yeah. He's like a band guy. I get it. He's got to carry his gear around.
Gwildor fishing for chicken. All right. So yeah, there's a fish out of water story. They're on Earth. The 4 Eternians, He-Man, Man-at-Arms, Tila, and Gwildor have all escaped to Earth. They're looking for the key. Tom Paris has it. He activates it by playing it, and it makes like a light show, but it also tells Skeletor where they are. So Skeletor sends his minions, and they fail the first time.
There's a great little moment between Evil Lyn and Skeletor around that time where you come into this moment and like Skeletor is like caressing Evil Lyn's face.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, where there's like some depth to these characters.
Yeah. Frank Langella and Meg Foster are both good in this. I'm definitely giving you that. Like every scene with them. I mean, Frank Langella especially elevates it. I mean, it would just, without him, it would just be
true.
It would have nothing. I mean, Billy Barty's good in it, despite having way too much prosthetics on that he can't move his face, but he still acts like he can still act pretty well through the makeup.
Well, isn't he an R2D2?
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah, he was R2D2. Yeah.
But you're not complaining about all. You don't even see. He doesn't even move his face. Says R2D2. Son of a bitch.
I don't know. I got some complaints about Star Wars. If you want to hear them, I mean, take longer than we have in this episode.
Well, should we just have a Star Wars shit on Star Wars episode and just completely have everybody hate us?
I'm down for that.
Lose a fan base, gain a fan base.
So there's a MacGuffin, this key. Tom Paris has it. They find him. Another thing I couldn't figure out too was like why Courtney Cox and Tom Paris care so much about what's happened. Like they end up, I don't know. That relationship didn't ring true to me. Like the friendship between Courtney Cox and like the Eternians.
Yeah, because like Kevin's a piece of shit, and why would he ever get Courtney Cox? That's my complaint.
He's trying. All right, so they end up friends with He-Man. Well, Courtney Cox gets attacked at the school by some of the minions, including Beastman and a bunch of other characters.
Blade,
who was also like
cool.
Apparently also Frank Langella's stunt double when they were doing the final battle.
Oh, that makes sense.
Was like not Frank Langella. It was this stunt guy who also played Blade. So they fail. They go back. Skeletor kills one of them and is like, go try again. Evil Lynn comes with him this time.
Predator assassin guy gets it.
Yeah. And then they capture He-Man, and that's kind of the end of Act 2.
There's a moment Billy's cleaning up the place, and there's like a Burger King endorsement shot.
Yeah, I saw that.
And he's just shoving everything into the sink.
Yeah.
And he shoves, this is the first time I noticed this, I think. He shoves a bunch of Burger King in there and then 3 perfectly fine oranges.
I saw that.
I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Is that what
it just made me hate Kevin even more.
That's his cleaning.
Piece of shit.
So Kevin figures out the end. Oh, their key gets damaged. Their copy of the key gets damaged in the fight, which is this terrible battle with lots of bad effects. And He-Man gets captured and their key gets damaged at the end of Act 2. But Kevin figures out that you can use a synthesizer to recreate the tones. He basically plays the score that's been playing. Whenever you open the key, there's like this certain tune. Something like that, yeah. And that makes it work. And then they transport an entire city block back to Eternia into the throne room. They've got part of the wall and like half of the pink Cadillac. Isn't
that cool though?
I did like that, yeah.
Come on, there's like a ton of great little details like that in this movie.
And that the 80s authority figure guy, the principal from Back to the Future.
Yeah. He's got a shotgun.
Yeah, everyone else has a laser gun. He's got a shotgun. So there's a big battle. I guess we're into Act 3. At what point
animation on the laser whip that He-Man's getting whipped with.
That's right, that scene.
It's so crazy. Like, it's just going all over the place. I like that, like, this is subtle, but you're always shitting all over this movie, but like, I like that there's like some sticks. He-Man's getting fucked up.
Yeah, Skeletor's while he's getting whipped, Skeletor's like hanging onto his staff, and I think I wrote down, "Don't cream your jeans, Skeletor."
There's like I wonder what Frank was thinking when he was doing his performance during that. Again, that's like a confusing kind of, but not in a bad way, like in a good way. Like, it adds depth to his character. Like, I don't know if he's getting pleasure from it. It's almost like it's like not fun to him. Like, to see, like, he likes the chase, But I like the detail of the sorceress, like getting older and like more fragile and all fucked up looking.
Oh, the sorceress, I forgot to mention, she's being held captive and her powers are being transferred to Skeletor. Yeah. So it's like draining her life force. The actress,
and who knows, like, it's like one of those things too, like, who knows how old she is. Maybe
the actress who played the sorceress went on to play Courtney Cox's mom in Friends.
Oh shit. These factoids are fantastic. Now, right before the He-Man gets whipped and stuff, that scene, Skeletor, they're returning to the throne room, and there is this character holding Skeletor's staff, and Skeletor just fucking rips it out of his hands and walks right past him. Do you know about Pig Boy?
Oh, that was the contest winner.
My God. Pig Boy is the best. I think they even made a toy of Pig Boy.
They did.
Yeah.
So there was what Gus is referring to. There was a contest. What was it like, through the action figures, or how did you enter?
There was something like that. Yeah.
There was some kind of contest where if you won, you got to be in the movie.
Yeah.
And so there's a little kid in it at one point that gives Skeletor his staff.
Yeah, but he's in this, like, in the credits he's named Pig Boy.
Yeah.
but he's sort of like a pig in like armor, alien character.
Yeah, you hardly notice him. Like if you blink,
Oh,
you miss him. It's
when I, you know, in the past 5 years when I learned about Pig Boy or whatever, you know, whenever that was, it blew my mind because I didn't pick up on that little detail at all.
yeah, it's real quick. It's like a really
Fucking
quick
Pig
shot.
Boy, man. Hell yeah.
So yeah, the Pig Boy kid won a contest to be in the He-Man movie or the Masters of the Universe movie, as we're calling it. Oh, also when here's something I've noticed when Skeletor invades Earth.
Yeah.
He's on this like giant throne ship thing.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like Jabba's ship, but it's like a throne.
I like the backdrop with the red.
Yeah, and it looks cool, but I wrote down he sneaks up on them in this thing. They're like on top of a building, and you see the throne thing slowly rise up.
Yeah.
I'm like, how did he sneak up on them?
I know what you're saying. I can see that being laughable. I honestly, when I was younger, I thought that was like thrilling and suspenseful.
Well, I get the point of it, you know, that trope of like, we see the villain, but they don't, you know, like, oh, they're going to get it now. But it's like this giant ship that's like hovering and they're like on top of a building and it's like slowly coming up over the side of the building.
There's just there's just so many shots in this movie of Dolph where it's like he didn't realize that they were, maybe he did realize, which would be even worse, but like it's like, hey Dolph, we're shooting right now, like
we're rolling
in character. Yeah, he's just like looking off.
Yeah.
And like,
oh yeah, Dolph is terrible, man. Dolph, like,
poor guy,
he's the worst in this. I think he got better. Slightly better, you know.
The Alpha and the Omega speech,
when
he's kind of whispering, you know,
mm-hmm.
Can you feel it? Can you hear it? Like all the choices and the voice he's doing.
This is Langella again.
Yeah, God, Skeletor is just killing it. It's so good, and I love the transformation and like the design of his like ultimate form, if you will.
Yeah, how did that come about though? Was that like after he finished?
I didn't understand
the science or magic that was. They explained it, but
yeah, it's like the kind of like the planets aligning. You know, I'm just looking at Dolph Lundgren's pecs, man. I'm not paying attention to the fucking plot, bro.
He does have nice pecs.
Yeah. His physicality is good. Everything else is fucking horrible.
Well, yeah, I mean, he looks the part.
Yeah.
And it looks like he could work, but his acting is just not good, and his voice is not good.
I mean, the role of in Rocky IV is perfect for what he has to do, you know?
Yeah.
Don't really talk. What he says, like one thing, I'll break you, or
I must break you.
Yeah.
Oh, plus he's Russian, so
yeah. Wait,
it makes sense that
I don't think he's Russian.
No, I mean the character is.
Yeah. Dolph Lundgren's like a fucking doctor in physics or some shit like that.
I saw that too. Yeah, he's got a bunch of degrees.
Yeah, don't fuck with Dolph, man.
I ain't fucking with Dolph. I'm sure he's really smart and really nice.
He's probably listening to this podcast right now. Hey, Gus loves you. Brad doesn't like you. And in the poster, the names are switched. So like, I'm the young one. Love you, Dolph.
Oh yeah, in case he comes looking.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I don't think he looks back on this film fondly. Frank Langella, though, apparently took the part because his son really liked.
Yeah, he wanted to do something for his kids. Yeah,
and apparently he loved working on it, and he said it was his favorite movie that he ever did.
Yeah, and like his input on the costume and stuff was.
Yeah, he looks good. The makeup looks good. I mean, it's just enough.
Ah, God damn it, Brad.
Like his.
How about
Frank Langella has just enough prosthetics on. Like he can still emote. His mouth can kind of move, but he's still kind of looks like a skeleton type character. I don't know how you translate that into
How about when
live action.
Tila looks into the camera and says, "Woman in arms," you know? Shit.
So we get to the final battle and they ran out of money. So they turned out the lights. Like the director, apparently they came in mid shot and was like, you can't film anymore. We're out of money. And they started taking the set down. And so the director, he had planned for that. He said, all right, here's what we're going to do. They got a shot of like He-Man and Skeletor, their weapons clash. And there's a big explosion and all the lights go out. So now it's like pure dark and they're backlit and they're fighting.
Yeah, but it works. It kind of reminded me of Big Trouble in Little China, which came out a year before, whenever Egg Chan and Lo Pan have like this kind of like cosmic video game battle. I would be remiss to not bring up the He-Man's tagline.
I have the power.
I have the power. I mean, when that fucking happens in this movie, my undying love for He-Man from a kid, the nostalgia, I just biggest smile on my face. I laughed a little bit. It's just awesome.
I was
love
out
it
at that point.
Oh, you're great.
The movie had lost me. This is fun though. We don't agree. We don't always have to agree. This is what this is about. You like this movie. I thought it was terrible.
I know where you live. Did you wait for after the credits? Do you know about the after credit scene?
Oh yeah, I did see that.
Oh, He-Man wins, of course.
Oh yeah, Skeletor falls. A shot of him falling too. It's
it's
he's clearly standing. So He-Man pushes Skeletor into one of the 4 bottomless pits that are randomly in the throne room.
Yeah,
I guess that set was I saw this later. The set was designed to have a bunch of sword fights on it, which is why there's all these different levels.
Yeah, they
didn't do any sword fights. They didn't have enough money.
Your classic like I don't think it's not the money. Probably the money, but it's like they didn't have the time to choreograph anything.
Well, yeah.
So it's all of it. All the action scenes are like made in the editing room. You know what I mean?
That's one of the big problems I have is that because it's supposed to be an action. I mean, He-Man is
man, you missed the point. This is about Gwildor.
This is really about Courtney Cox.
Yeah.
Oh, this I had completely forgotten about. Courtney Cox uses the key to go back in time.
No. She doesn't use the key. Gwildor smirks because they're like, "Hey, I could send you wherever you want," and she's like, "No, it's fine." And then as she's going into the portal, she's like, "Oh no, wait!" and then gets sucked in, and then she realizes that Gwildor fucking like 100% was like, "Bitch, I got you."
Okay, so Gwildor sent her back in.
Gwildor
apparently
is the
key can send you through time as well, not just space but time.
Yeah.
So Gwildor sends her back to before her parents got killed. I wrote this down too. All right, so she gets the keys from them or whatever, so they can't leave on the plane. And then she runs out of her house and Tom Paris is like there standing in the street.
Yeah, but he realizes where he is like waking up and going, oh, like this must be the past. Like he gets it. He's holding the thing. It wasn't all a dream. Courtney Cox's like nightgown thing is smoking.
Yeah. Courtney Cox was back. Yeah, she was pretty cute back then. Yeah.
I'm joking about the that nightgown thing is like hideous and hilarious. My wife actually has something like that, and we always joke about it because I'm like, "Oh, great, you got that!" Like,
you got the Courtney Cox from Masters of the Universe. So He-Man and the Masters of the sorry, just Masters of the Universe.
Oh wait, well the end credits.
Okay, yeah. There's a shot at the end after the credits where Skeletor's face pops out, right?
Yeah, he's in like there's like this magma goo at the bottom, and he pops his head out and says, I'll be back.
Is that what he says? And they had planned a sequel, but this movie flopped pretty hard, so they didn't. All right, so Gus recommends this movie. I do not.
I can't believe that you couldn't even recommend it on like a so bad it's good. Like it's a fun
you know what?
watch.
I enjoyed watching. I did have fun
Yeah.
with it. I don't think it's good, but I laughed out loud several times, which wasn't intentional.
Oh,
Like
I did too.
So it is better than Beastmaster. We've
Yeah.
decided that. I was never really much into superhero stuff, to be honest. I mean, I like them. I don't
and I wasn't, you know.
It's like I could take it or leave it. I mean, the ones I've seen recently I've liked, you know, like
But they only recently got good since like the first Avengers movie where they figured it out.
yeah, I feel like now they got the tone right. I don't know, like translating something like that from a comic book, you know.
It's hard.
Like, yeah.
It's really hard. And that's what I'm talking about. This fucking movie, Masters of the Universe. You know how difficult it is to even make He-Man into a fucking live action movie? Are you serious? Like that, overcoming that challenge right there, let alone in 1987.
Yeah, I'll give you that it's 1987. I'll give you Frank Langella for sure, and Meg Foster, and
Billy.
Even Billy Barty, yeah, even though he's got way too much makeup on.
It's not his fault.
He does a decent job. It's a movie.
Well, I will say, good journey.
Yeah, good journey. It's a good ending.
Yeah.